Buenas tardes a todos y bienvenidos a este penúltimo evento de la temporada 2024 de SimRacingHub F1 en vivo de Autodromo Hermanos Rodríguez y patrocinado por Color Magic Printing. Argenis Riera lidera el campeonato sobre Josh Mills con 24 puntos de ventaja. That's just a joke. I'm not going to do that for an hour and a half plus, but welcome to this penultimate round of the SimRacingHub 2024 Championship. I'm François Goulet. I'm alone tonight. Matt Hartley can't make it, and this is maybe the round that will decide the champion for this 2024 season. Argenis Riera is leading by 24 points on Josh Mills in second position. So something needs to happen for Josh Mills today in order to be able to come back in the points championship. So there's a few scenarios that that I will describe a little bit later on. In order for Josh Mills maybe to keep some hopes in that championship. We'll have a nice race tonight, nice circuit, Hermanos Rodriguez, 71 laps, 4 kilometers, a track that is really high in altitude, so very, very high downforce setup for a really, really low downforce input on the cars. So, leading the championship, so the driver standing, Riera has 346 points, and Josh Mills has 322 points. So that's 24 points, as I said. This is almost clinched. This is a high margin. A race can, get a driver up to 26 points if he scores the first position and the fastest lap. Then Mills with 322. János Magasrevi with the 203 points. As I always say in no man's land, he's not going to be there tonight. I just learned it, so you will probably have a replacement. We'll figure that out because I don't have all the information about that, but we'll discover it along the way. Now you got Glenn Cooper in fourth position, followed by Zeke Montero, and Glenn Cooper only has 3 points on Ezekiel Montero, followed by Otto Acosta. Speaking of which, I'm not going to go into the team standing right now, but if János Magasrevi is not here for Mercedes tonight, that's actually a good thing for the McLaren team because they have been struggling to score more points than their Mercedes team in the previous rounds. So Otto Acosta in 6th position, Richard Walcott for Ferrari in 7th with 91, Jean-Pierre Lalancette in 8th position, followed by Richard Haney for the Williams team in 9th, and wrapping up the top 10, Mr. Bill Worrell for Ferrari as well. I look like a very big Ferrari fan right now, but I really needed to display that because I somebody gave me that and I had to pay homage to that. And also Ferrari is not in the championship hunt, so I don't look too much of a fan right now. So thank you for being here. As usual, if I'm alone, I'm counting on you guys in the live to provide me with some questions, some insights, anything that you can bring to the table in order to have a nice, enjoyable, and entertaining evening. So in the team standings, because I'm going to go on this topic right away, Red Bull Racing is leading the championship by a mere 66 points. So it's almost clinched for them. Jean-Pierre Lalancette and Josh Mills have scored a lot of points together, especially Josh Mills, but Lalancette has been here in support of Josh Mills for that, point grabbing. For Aston Martin, unfortunately, Ricciardo Sr. has yet to secure a lot of points. So even though if Argenis Riera is winning a lot of races, that's not enough for this team to be able to sustain the fight and bring it up to Red Bull Racing. I'm not saying that it's mathematically possible, but it's very unlikely that it will happen. And I'm going to touch some wood because I have a thing about that too. Mercedes and McLaren, so they are 52 points apart. That's closer a little bit. It's not impossible since, as I said, these two drivers, the two drivers per team can score nice points, and we have seen some retirement for both teams along the season. So anything can happen for these ones. It's 2 races worth of points. Plus a fast lap if you want to do perfect math. And then you got Scuderia Ferrari in 5th position for the driver's standing. I just said that I'm going to knock on wood or touch some wood anytime I say something, because for those who were there like 2 weeks ago, every time I say something, another thing happened. You know, when I said at the end of the race that, oh well, everybody's pretty set up, the gaps between the cars are quite fixed, then paf, Bill Worrell hits the barrier in Austin, Texas, before turn 11. Then he goes on the straight, takes off like a plane, crashed the car. So I don't want to be that that guy who always talk and then something bad happens to the driver. So I really need to knock on wood and maybe just keep it quiet when it comes down to these kind of situations. So Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, very fun circuit. Never drove it. Enjoy it though when I'm a spectator. This circuit has been on the calendar, on and off since 1962. So there has been a lot of improvement to that track. It came back on the calendar. Well, it disappeared in 1992. Last winner here was Nigel Mansell, not in the SimRacingHub F1 Championship, but for real Formula One, of course. And then it came back in 2015. So I believe it has been on the calendar for these gentlemen in that game for quite some times. The fun part about that track, personally, is the start in the first corner. There's a huge line, a huge amount of track to cover, and usually, if you start first, you're quite at a disadvantage because the driver behind you will take the slipstream and might be overtaking you. So being on pole here might not be the best thing, but no driver is going to purposely, thank themselves not doing the fastest lap, because you never know, somebody can go in front of you and, you can still sustain that first position. So it will be quite interesting in that regard, because I predict maybe that Riera is going to do the pole because he has been on top of his game lately, and maybe Josh Mills can take advantage of that slipstream and sneak past through on turn 1. And also, this is a very, very this is a tight right-hander, not a very, very tight right-hander, but it's quite a nice tight right-hander, like 90 degrees. So that said, this could be a place where mayhem happens, so we'll keep an eye on that. It's already 21:12, so we're 3 minutes away from the quali, and I'm going to go on my overlay to see who the drivers are, because we got 18 drivers on track right now. I see Darren Fisher, who's actually filling in for the McLaren team. So if I'm not mistaken, that's Otto Acosta that won't be here tonight, which is not cool for him because he's in 6th position, but he's more than a race win away from the next position, which is occupied by Richard Walcott. So he has a nice buffer. Okay, he can miss one. But Darren Fisher, we have seen him in this season in replacement. I think he replaced for Ferrari maybe once or twice, if I'm not mistaken. Decent driver, was there the previous season, can score points. So can't wait to see him on track develop. I can't wait to see the setups that these drivers will come with, because as I said, it's a very low downforce circuit because of the absence of air, high in altitude. So another thing which is nice to see about that track is the last corner, which people compare to the Parabolica in Monza. It has a little banking, although when you're looking on the onboard, it doesn't really show that there's a lot of bankings. So we'll keep an eye on that. There's 3 DRS zones in that circuit. So this is, of course, the first start-finish line straight. Then you got the straight between turn 3 and 4. And then right before the stadium section, which is like the signature part of that circuit now, you got the last DRS zone, which is it's not very long, but it can bring the cars together for that really slow section in the stadium, and then give them a chance to slipstream back in the next DRS zone, which is the start finish straight. So still only Oh no, sorry. 19 drivers on track right now, which is good. We want to see as much drivers as we can have. So Zeke Montero will have. I'm gonna try to figure out who's the next Mercedes driver filling in for Janos Magasrevi. And that's Jacobo Cardoso. Okay, so Cardoso was actually, I think that was his ride before Montero took his place. So Cardoso is no stranger to that Mercedes. And we're about to start the quali right now. And who's in first position? Guess what? Argenis Riera. Of course, he's got the first pit box. And while we're waiting for the quali to start, I'm going to have a little look at the live. And who's here? Well, Janos Magasrevi is on the live right now. So he's enjoying the program, but he's not enjoying the racing. And we got no specifics as usual. What's up? No specifics. And that's all we have so far. But they talk a lot, so there's a lot of chat here. And do we have anything? Oh, okay, he recently moved, so he has not set up his rig yet. Well, maybe your wife just threw it in another moving truck, and you won't see it again. So you really got to keep an eye on your rig. I remember when it moved here. My rig, I think, was the last thing I moved, and the movers didn't take it. I put it into my friend's pickup truck because I didn't want anybody to mess with it. Okay, yeah, you're right. Janos Magasrevi is sad because he has scored points on every races this season, so he won't be scoring any points now. That's a little way to brag online when you say stuff like that, Janos. So we're about to start the first hot lap, and I'm gonna look at Riera because he's the first one, and I'm in his onboard camera, and we'll see what he can bring to the table in that circuit. Very fast straight, and you'll see that's hard on the brakes for a tight right-hander, 90 degrees ish here. Nice kiss on the apex. It's some sort of a piff path left right, and then that other little fast section on the track. Another hard on the brake, a little left and right again, a little tighter though. And then you're gonna have that kind of, it's not a hairpin, but it's like a double apex hairpin, if I may. And then you got that little snaky section, looks like some S's, like in Silverstone perhaps. And that's a part that sets you up for that last straight DRS zone. And you really got to nail it if you don't want to lose too much speed and maybe get overtaken before that corner here in the stadium. So this is the slowest part of the track. And then that right-hander that sets you up for the start-finish straight, which has banking, but not that much. And we remember Valtteri Bottas hit the wall there a few years earlier when he was in Mercedes. So for Riera, it's a 1:12.019. This is a very fast lap. 1:12 is, in the calendar, it's not a super long lap. It's pretty short. And Josh Mills in second with half a second exactly behind Riera. Montero in third. And then you go into 1:13, so only three guys, in the 1:12. And then it's pretty bunched up. So Elise Tape, Lalancette, and Whirl wrapping up 5, 6, 7. And I think the drivers behind them maybe missed their laps because John Cook has a 1:21.5. We'll keep an eye on Cardoso in the Mercedes. Cardoso... Where's Cardoso? Okay, he's starting his hot lap, so I'm watching the onboard of Jacobo Cardoso for the Mercedes thing. I thought he was actually banking a time right there, and I was expecting him higher in the grid, but he has yet to finish a lap. We also have Mitsalis and Oppenheim, I think, starting a hot lap. They got plenty of time. Since the lap is short, it's not that big a deal if they don't. And Richard Walcott is actually faster in the first section. Still keeping an eye on Cardoso right now. That lap by Riera will be very hard to beat. Let's see if on his second lap he can go under the 112, because he's right on the money there. Cardoso seems to be on top of his game. This is really nice and smooth sailing through the stadium section. That's quite a slow relaunch, though. I'm not sure he really nailed it there after the stadium section, but let's see where that puts him. Cardoso only 115.2. That's 13th position, so he will have to he will probably have to go back, back there again and try to improve that situation, because Mercedes needs to score points. I'm back on Argenis Riera's onboard, warming up the tires, zigzagging a little bit before the stadium section, slowing down because there's a driver in front of him. Don't want to have that traffic, of course. Now nailing pedal to the metal, last corner, and we're on the second hot lap for Argenis Riera. Eighth gear, 340 kilometers per hour. Hard on the brakes. Looked good. Kissing the apexes. Very sharp. Not going too wide. We're going to arrive at Sector 1 soon. We'll see if he improves. 26001, so it's not purple so far. Let's see if he can improve his lap on the second and third section. So coming to the S's, there's a driver in front of him. Don't think he's going to catch him. Very wide, using all the track. He's on the rumble strips. Lots of speed, arriving at the sector number 2. Now he's improved. And the driver in front of him is going really slow. It's Tony Mitsalis. Can that be a factor? I don't think so. Oh, good last corner. Nice apex, but a little skid at the exit. Can't he improve on that 112? Yeah, 111.9. Woohoo! Okay, very good, sir. And what about Josh Mills? Finishing a lap right there. Not improving according to the timesheets. Yeah, okay, improved on his time, but not improving on the best time. So that's a 112.448. And there's still 3 minutes 06. I don't know if they're going to do a third stint in quali. That's an information that Matt Hartley would have given us if they have a set of tire. Can they go 3 times in quali? Maybe Janos can give us an insight on that, since he's in the chat. He was ready to break Argenis Rio's pole streak, but yeah, okay, he let it have it tonight, of course. So what does Josh have to do to beat Riera at this track? Whatever it's, he'll have to come up with it on his own, because I don't dare talk to Josh during his sim racing. Well, if Riera finishes 3 points ahead of Josh, whatever position it is, it's done. So, I mean, I think if he finishes 1st to 8th, that's what I read, he would actually clinch the championship, but he needs to finish 3 points ahead. So I think the differences in points imply that. So yeah, I see Riera back on track, so that means he's going to have a third shot at it. So I think they have unlimited. They have unlimited tries, but they're limited by the time. All right. Sorry, drinking a little bit of lemonade right now because it's quite hot in Mexico. I would have drank tequila, but in the middle of the race, it would have been it would have been a bit awkward. So, sorry. So, still, don't remember, we're sponsored by Color Magic Printing, who has been a good sponsor for most of this season. Very nice website you can actually browse on and get some t-shirts, mugs, posters, caps, whatever you want to print, logos and images on. There's no limit to what Color Magic Printing can do for you. So, Riera negotiating the last corner. And there he goes. So can he improve on that 111? And also, can Josh Mills do something about it and maybe drop half a second more than that and clinch that pole position? But as I said, the pole position here might not be the best way to go. So we're watching Riera still on top of his game. No signs of dropping in performance whatsoever. That's a really slow section, but not the slowest. That double apex right hairpinish corner. And now negotiating the S's. I think he was faster on the last lap about this place, but I might be mistaken. I might be wrong about it. He's faster in the first sector, that's for sure. Faster in the second sector. So, okay, we'll probably see an improvement here. Behind Darren Fisher, replacement for McLaren. Negotiating last corner. I think this is going to be maybe in the 111.7 for 0.668. Okay. Thank you very much. And now Josh Mills is trying really hard to keep his car into the lines. I don't know, because when I went on his onboard, I thought he was maybe off course, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Okay, no, that's done for Mills. He clipped the rumble strip at the entrance of the stadium, and that's going to be a hit for him. But Mills, don't worry. I think you want to be behind the leader for that start, because you'll have the slipstream and you will be able to make a move. So we got Argenis Riera first, Josh Mills second, Zeke Montero, great time actually, just 30 thousandths of a second behind Josh Mills. You know, not even that. And then you got Richard Walcott, and Walcott is really on a streak these days. He's really doing well in his Ferrari in fourth position. Elise Tape in fifth. Pretty good, Elise Tape. We're used to see him up front, but he has a lot of, bad luck along the season for Tape. Missed a few races here and there. Then you got Jean-Pierre Lalancette for Red Bull. This is very good for Red Bull, scoring points. Still, they're so much in advance, I don't think nobody's going to catch him. Glenn Cooper in seventh for the McLaren team. Bill Worrell for Ferrari in eighth. Darren Fisher replacing for McLaren. Very good for them in ninth. Señor El Fuego, and we're in Mexico. Juan del Castillo for Alpine. And then we got Ricardo Sr. for the Aston Martin Aramco team in 11th. He could score points. That would be good. And then you got Ricky Haney in 12, Stefan Broders in 13, Tony Mitsalis in 14, Sean Higgins, Mr. Color Magic Printing, in 15, Jacobo Cardoso in 16. I expected him higher in this race, so maybe we'll take advantage of a few DNFs or mishaps there, because Mercedes needs to score points to keep McLaren at bay. And then Captain John Cook in 17, Jeff Oppenheim in 18th position, and directly from, I think, Saint-Hyacinthe, Mr. Cliff Van Leeuwen. Anyway, from the Montreal area. A really, really French-Canadian name, Cliff Van Leeuwen. All right, so warm-up is about to start in a few seconds. We still have Janos and no specifics on the live. And, I'm excited. I just want to see the first corner. And also Montero. Don't forget about Montero, because Montero has the exact same times as Josh Mills. He's going to be right behind Riera, so he might be the one taking advantage of that slipstream if Josh Mills can't just put his car in between Zeke Montero and Riera. The tires for this race is the C3, C4, C5 spec, which are the softest. As I said, 71 laps. I have no clue about the tire wear here, how it's going to look. So 71 laps, short laps, might be just a two-stopper. Never know. Maybe Janos can tell us in the live, but I'm not going to look at the live where I'm describing right now. I'll just wait till we see the car on tracks for the warm-up, so I'll have to browse through all that writing. So Hermanos Rodriguez, very popular nowadays because there's a Mexican driver on the track, in the calendar, which is Sergio Perez. Is this circuit will still be on the calendar if Sergio Perez no longer in Formula One? That's debatable. I was talking to our producer Jazz before the race, and we were thinking that I don't think Zandvoort is still going to be on the calendar if Max Verstappen bails out. So, that's the same thing about Mexico. That's a great market. But if Sergio Perez gets out, maybe a driver like Pato O'Ward, who's doing FP1s for the McLaren team, would be a good replacement in a few years. But he's in IndyCar, and he looks happy there for now, so we never know. But Pato O'Ward, very good Mexican driver as well. The drivers are lining up for the warm-up, and there's 4 minutes, 42 seconds to go. So you can tell your predictions in the live if you think Riera will win, will clinch the championship. I mean, it would be very unlikely that he doesn't, but Riera's have some pretty bad luck. He has some disconnections. There was some incidents. If there's an incident between Josh Mills and Riera, this is done too. Of course, if Mills, if both cars retire. On that token. So I don't know how aggressive our drivers will be at the start of that race. This corner can be very, very tricky, very dangerous. You never know if someone misses his brake mark and maybe plow through the field and do the bowling ball pattern. This could be very unfortunate for anyone who's in that position. So watching the pretty Mercedes for Zeke Montero negotiating the track, warm-upping. So I'm going to go look on the live, even though maybe Janos wrote something about the tires. Doesn't look like that. But I would like to see a driver start on the soft compound, just for the fact that the soft compound will provide a better start. And maybe, get that track position. That's very important. But, with that long start-finish straight, it's maybe about the same length as the Austin straight that we saw last week. Very good race, by the way, in Austin, not last week, but 2 weeks ago. So there should be a lot of DRS passes in that race there, and maybe at the third one, because I said it's a short one, but I watched the drivers during the quali, and those S's looks very tricky. So if a driver really misses one of these S's, that jeopardizes his speed for the next corner after that. So this will be interesting as well. If Josh Mills wants to survive, of course, I think Riera really he has to not score points at all. There's still a race in 2 weeks in Brazil. So this could be just a race for fun at the end, or just for the other positions on their grid. If Riera clinches the championship. So always, stay here. Don't get anywhere, because this championship, even though if it's clinched today, will still be interesting for the other spots to be clinched in that calendar. Richard Haney stopped on track. Okay, he just bailed out. So we're watching the best lap so far with the fuel is a 1:16.3. So that's very different from what we have in the quali. It's about a 4-second difference with a full load of fuel. The fast lap point might be a good way for Josh Mills tonight to keep his hopes alive, depending on whatever is happening on the track. Now, Jacobo Cardoso for the Mercedes team. He's not in position to score points right now, and I'm going to try to look at the driver's standing if what would be like mathematically the possibilities for the McLaren and the Mercedes team. So that's exactly 52 points. I mean, McLaren needs Mercedes as well to have a really bad day and them having a good day, because 25, I say it's 2 races worth of points, but it's 2 victories worth of points. And so far, the McLaren drivers has yet to secure a victory on that season. Janos Magasrevi should, really keep his 3rd place in the championship. I mean, he has 71 points. Yeah, okay, yeah. That's impossible for Glenn Cooper to catch him. So Janos could actually move again, miss a race, miss the last race, which I think he won't, and stay in the 3rd position in his championship. So we can already clap for that 3rd place. I hope you'll send yourself a trophy for that. You had a great season, and we're eager to see you in the last race because you're always giving us a good show. So, oh, sorry, because I'm hearing some Mexican voice talking, or sounded around the track, so I thought I was not alone anymore. But that's the local presentador. And cars are ready. We're going to go on the warm-up lap. It's a short, very short warm-up lap before the penultimate race of this 2024 season of the SimRacingHub F1 live on GTCQ TV and sponsored by Color Magic Printing. Go to colormagicprinting.biz. Hey, there's a thing. Usually I see Color Magic Printing logos around the track. I have yet to see that. So I'll keep my eyes open, but I haven't seen it. It might be because Janos is not here to provide that technical touch. That would be a dominant hypothesis. So the cars are doing their warm-up lap. We're going to have a race. So I don't know how long this race will be. Probably about an hour and a half. We're still going to have the interviews at the end of it. So I'll try to, gather a few questions for drivers. If you have questions for a driver. Oh, Color Magic Biz. I see it. It's right here. All right. Well done. Yeah, I had to say it. It's all around. But I see flags everywhere, but I don't see anybody in the grandstand, so can't really tell what happened in Mexico right now. They're about to, they're in the S sections. I'm going to call it the snaky section. It's better like that. You call it the snaky section. So the grid for now is Riera in 1st position, Josh Mills 2nd, Zeke Montero 3rd, Richard Walcott in 4th, Elise Tate 5th, Jean-Pierre Lalancette in 6th, Glenn Cooper 7th, Bill Worrell in 8th, 9th position Darren Fisher, 10 Juan del Castillo, 11 Ricardo Senor, 12 Richard Haney, Stephen Brotherson in 13th, 14, Tony Mitsalis, Sean Higgins in 15, 16 in Jacobo Cardoso, Captain John Cook in 17, Jeff Oppenheim in 18, and 19th is Cliff Van Leeuward, wrapping up our field for tonight. 19 cars out of a 20-car possibility, and they are arriving at their starting spots. So there's not a lot of room between Riera and Montero for Josh Mills to squeeze himself. I can speak a few languages, no specifics. I'm French, English. I speak a little Italian, and I pronounce the Latino language pretty well, but I'm not quadrilingual, but I understand Spanish, Italian, a little bit of German too. And that's pretty much that. Lights on. 4, 5. Lights out, and the race is on. Good start by Josh Mills, also Riera, and Mills will probably go behind Riera and take that slipstream that I talked about. And Montero too. So 3 wide at the first corner. Montero's got the inside. Josh Mills on the outside, but oh, Josh Mills dove and got the first position on the outside. Very well done by Mills, followed by Riera. Wow, I predicted something like that, and Montero had to yield, but he had the inside. He would have had a really slow corner, though. So Mills in first position. So far, I see the hard compound, but I'm pretty sure it might be another glitch like we saw. So we'll wait a lap or two to figure out what are the tire compounds. Cars are bunched up. I don't think there's any incident so far because I haven't seen further in the field. I was really looking at Josh Mills and Riera to see that battle for the first position. That's what we want to see for the championship. So Josh Mills in the stadium, and so far everybody looks steady. Cardoso and Mitsalis fighting back there. And of course, we know that Riera has a lot of speed, and now he's still in the slipstream. There won't be any DRS on that lap, but look at that. He's still in slipstream range, followed by Montero. So we should see Riera catching Mills and maybe trying a move on the first corner. There it is. Can Mills outbrake him again? They barely touched, but Mills keeps that first position. It's going to be very tough to keep that position for Mills. And look who's showing up, Montero in third position. So this is going to be a three-way battle. Oh, Riera trying to inside. Are they going to touch? No. Okay, I see Riera with the medium and Mills with the hard compound. I think that's it. I think we got that information right now. And Riera, if he has that compound, would have an advantage on the grip. But Mills managed to defend 3 times already. This is incredible. I mean, how he managed to do that. I know that Riera is not taking any risks, and I think Mills is really like trying anything he can to get some points and keep that position. He doesn't want to let Argenis Riera set sail and clinch that. So very well done by Josh Mills. Now Riera is less than a second behind him. That's going to be another slipstream, but now he's got the DRS. It's going to be even worse for Josh Mills trying to defend that position. Now the corner is arriving. I think Riera is going to be patient on this one. He's not anywhere as close as he was a lap before in order to make that pass. So yeah, it looks like it's in the bank for the tires. Mills is on the hard compound. Riera's on the medium. Montero is on the hard compound as well. And this fight is still going on. Riera not letting Josh Mills getting out of sight. And they're arriving at the snaky section. And Montero doesn't leave them at all because he wants to take advantage of anything that can happen between these two drivers right now. So this is great racing. Now looks like maybe Mills might have a little, well, I say a little more downforce. He was a little faster in the snaky section, but Riera just caught. Oh, whoa, slow corner by Mills. This is going to cost him a lot. Riera's on his tail. Oh, I mean, Mills is a sitting duck right now. Yeah, he's going to be overtaken, but look who's coming right behind them, Zeke Montero. So Riera has got the DRS open. Mills can't do anything about it. Now he's back in the slipstream. But Riera's got that. Oh, and Mills driving inside. No DRS, but he does it. Oh, wow, this is great. Well done by Mills, and Montero is right behind him. Montero needs to Mills would really like Montero to overtake Riera to give him a little breathing space. This is crazy. I mean, Riera had the DRS open, but even there with the slipstream, Josh Mills managed to slipstream back under and take that first position on the inside. Really aggressive by Josh Mills. That's what we want to see. This is just insane racing, great racing. Well done by this driver. And Riera not taking any risk defending. He knows he has the speed, and he might be able to manage that. But if Riera stays behind Mills on the medium compound and then gets over that window of performance with the medium tire, Mills would have done a great operation. So Mills has exactly, again, about 0.6 of a second. Riera with the DRS. Last time we saw that, Mills managed to keep that position. Now Riera's arriving. Mills defending. So that is pure racecraft, what you see there. Josh Mills defending on the inside, protecting the position, and that's, you know, textbook. Before Riera had to make a move, so this is super legit. Well done by Mills. I mean, this is going to be a tough race for him. And that's what we want to see as racing fans. We want to see that battle unfold. And Montero is not even 2 car lengths away from Riera. So if Mills slows down Riera in the slow section a little bit, maybe Zeke Montero can take advantage of that. But Mills needs to have that 0.6 of a second. Riera really wide in the entry, but Mills super wide. So that's going to give Riera a little breathing space, but Zeke Montero is right there lurking behind. So this is going to be a 3-way battle for the first position with all the slipstream. Mills will be overtaken by Riera about now. Will come back behind him with the slipstream like he just did the lap before. We'll have speed diving in the corner, but he tried, but I mean, he knew that was a little bit dangerous. So Riera got that first position back. And now he's in first position with Josh Mills right behind him, but with the hard compound tires. So well done by Mills for 6 laps. And now Mills has skid. Okay, he's sliding a little bit, over pushing the car. And Montero's on the attack. Montero is, oh, sorry, I said Montero had the hard compound. He has the medium compound. So now more than 1 second. Unfortunate for Josh Mills when he slid a little bit in these corners. He overpushed quite a bit, and then he lost the DRS range. And now he has Montero to to think about. So Mills really needs to get back on the focus. I mean, he really gave it all. Hats off to Josh Mills. So far, he makes a good point for driver of the day just by what he has achieved in the first section of that race. So I'm still looking at Montero and Mills, even though there's battles behind with Glenn Cooper and Elise Tate side by side for the first corner. I have to keep an eye on Montero and Josh Mills because it is about to happen. So Mills really good on keeping Montero at bay, but this is a slow section here, and Montero's got the tires. Oh, Cardoso with another steering wheel failure, so DNF. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, well, technical difficulties are the equivalent of a blown engine. And look at Sean Higgins, Darren Fisher, and Juan del Castillo in 789. Those guys are following each other quite closely. Looking at Montero and Mills in the same time, trying to figure out what to watch. There's a lot of things going on track, and Juan del Castillo trying to inside on Fisher, not quite. Just before the stadium, almost happened. So now you'll see Zeke Montero 6/10 behind Josh Mills with the DRS open. Will close the gap, but won't be fighting. And look at 10, 11, 12 till almost 15. All these cars are in a little train, and Lalancette, I don't know what happened with Lalancette in the race, but he's now 15th. So something must have happened with him in the first laps, but unfortunately I couldn't see it because the fight was so intense in the first positions. So Mills still a little bit, like more than half a second in front of Montero. Juan del Castillo fighting Darren Fisher. You got Brotherson, World, Ricardo, Richard Haney, sorry. And all these drivers are really close to each other. So we got a midfield fight, an intense midfield fight. There's a lot of red on my overlay. I'm not talking about Ferraris here. 15. So Richard Haney and Jean-Pierre Lalancette, Mitsalis, Oppenheim. Fight everywhere. I'm about to go home. There's too many fights. I can't do this anymore. Oh, I'm already home. Sorry. So I'll stick around then. So Montero in third position, closing the gap, but that's not what's really crispy right now. Brotherson in 12, followed by Bill Worrell. And look at that, Haney and Lalancette and Senor. Ricardo Sr. dropped quite a bit too. He's in 16. He started 11th. Not good for the Aston Martin team. I can tell you that. Unfortunate for Cardoso. That's points that McLaren will grab over Mercedes. Look at that, Richard Haney on Bill Worrell trying the outside, but Bill Worrell trying the inside on Brotherson. What about Haney? Can he slipstream through? Oh wow, they almost touch on the outside. They got to be careful not to bump into each other. And look who's coming. Ricardo Sr. taking advantage of all that slowing down. And Josh Mills with Montero up front getting closer and closer to each other. Look at that. Montero is right on Mills' tail. This is not good for the Red Bull driver. Oh, Montero spun! Montero spun at the last corner. Oh, well, he's going into pits. No, he's not. Okay, I thought he was, but that was just him getting back on track. Zeke Montero spun, following Josh Mills. Oh, well, that's going to give Mills a lot of breathing space. Walcott's now in third position, and this is done for this fight. Montero will have to give everything he has to catch Josh Mills. Josh Mills on the hard compound, so the window of performance from the medium compound will start to diminish. Lap 10 out of 71. This is going very fast. This is a fast-paced race. I'm going to remove my cap because it's starting to get really hot in here. All right. No more Ferrari at 15th position. Lalancette, Richard Haney, Ricardo Sr. Good fight there. I mean, there's 4 people knocking on the door of the 13th position, and guess what? 12 and 11 are not quite far in front. So I'm looking at that little snaky group, that little paint train right there. And look at that, even 10th, like Mitsalis and Sean Higgins and Del Castillo fighting a little bit up front for 7th position. Coming back to fight for 13. 4 drivers within 1.3 seconds-ish. And Tony Mitsalis fending off an attack from Jeff Oppenheim to keep the last points. Jeff Oppenheim right now in Matt Hartley's favorite position, 11th. Juan Del Castillo just passed Sean Higgins for the 7th position. And Tony Mitsalis, a sitting duck in front of Jeff Oppenheim on the start-finish straight. And even Bill Worrell wants to get in the party. And Bill Worrell's going to overtake 2 drivers. Wow, well done by the Ferrari driver. Oh, Mitsalis and Oppenheim just touched. Oppenheim had the inside on Mitsalis in the first corner, and they ran into each other. But I think that was a clean attempt at a pass. So I just hope they don't have any damage, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Juan Del Castillo still fighting Sean Higgins. So Lalancette, oh wow, Lalancette, Brotherson, Haney, Senior, even Cook is not that far behind. But I think if Lalancette overtook for 13th position, I think he's going to set sail. That wouldn't surprise me at all. So the tires are square now. It will pit soon. So yeah, tell us, Janos. At the same as in real life, if they spin, it's gonna do a flat spot on the tires. Is that what you're saying? Yes or no? I'm sure it is, because this is a realistic sim, and usually when you mess up, it's gonna happen. So we wouldn't be surprised to see Montero pit. He's probably feeling vibrations if that's the case. But I have a yes from my producer that yeah, you can do flat spots in that game, which is not cool. So Sean Higgins, followed by Darren Fisher, Del Castillo. Wow. What happened to Sean Higgins? Something happened to Sean Higgins because he's very far from the 7th position he was chasing. Oppenheim and Worrell, close to each other. Oppenheim and Worrell arriving at the snaky section. And now, oh yeah, Bill Worrell on Oppenheim's tail. Can he slipstream with the DRS on that little straight? Perhaps he can. That's too short of a straight to even make an attempt, but he's going to be right on his tail for the start-finish straight. And look at that train building up between 10th and 13th, and who's coming behind? Mr. Jean-Pierre Lalancette. He's hungry for positions because he has lost quite a few in the start phase. Lap 13 out of 71 in this very cool race so far. A lot of battles unfolding. Bill Worrell, the streaming on Oppenheim, taking that 9th position. So these cars will probably between 9th and 11th. Mitsalis hitting Jeff Oppenheim in the gearbox. Jeff Oppenheim is out. He's off track. He will be back on track. I don't think he's going to retire, but and Mitsalis, Lalancette took advantage of that. Lalancette is now 10th, and Mitsalis is spinning. Wow, okay, it's incredible. Lalancette really took advantage. Mitsalis clipped the rear of Oppenheim's car, sending him away. What did I just see? Brotherson is off track. Richard Haney following Senior real close. Lalancette got 10th position, so he was in 13th before that event. That really paid off for him. So now he's chasing Bill Worrell. There's a lot of things going on. Glenn Cooper in 5th position. I think just what? Okay, Riera just got out of the pits. So yeah, Riera has made a pit stop. He's now, according to my screen, or the Howard compound. Now, Josh Mills is still in the Howard compound, so he doesn't have to cover for that. Tony Mitsalis about to be passed by Ricardo Senor. And then Richard Haney also arriving very fast. Doesn't know where to go because Mitsalis is moving quite erratically. Maybe didn't see him because he was trying to fight the driver in front of him. Now, Riera has to negotiate with Glenn Cooper. He's in the snaky section. So Glenn Cooper won't let Riera pass that easily. So that could actually cost Riera a lot of time on Josh Mills, which could actually give Mills a little bit of hope. Now, Riera has to be really careful when he makes a move because the retirement on his part would be the end of that championship clinching venture. Sorry, that's quite hard to say for a Frenchie. So Riera in front of Cooper, easily done. DRS, start finish straight. Not even a challenge. Now Ricardo Sr. protecting the position on Richard Haney. I'm pretty sure not gonna happen because Richard Haney has DRS open, and yeah, this will happen, of course. Easy peasy for Richard Haney. Very nice racing so far. So we're seeing the first pit stop period right now. Riera has pitted. He has the fastest lap with a 1:16.116. So the first pit window between pretty much lap 14 and I would say maybe 25 is just speculations here because we'll see about whatever the hard compound can bring to the table. Josh Mills still on the hard compound. Now we got to fight for 11 and 12 still between Ricardo Sr. and Richard Haney. Oh, Richard Haney really wide at the stadium entrance, giving Ricardo Sr. a little bit of hope. And Haney's just slipping and sliding, so he has yet to pit. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes into pits right now, but no, but Ricardo Sr. does. Ricardo Sr. in the pits. Now Cliff Vanley in the pits as well. So this pit window, that's where I'm all over the place, because on my overlay I see red, so I think there's fights, but it's just people in the pits passing each other, so not happening. Elise Tape in 4th position, chased by Argenis Riera. So as I said, Argenis Riera still trying to climb up the field after his pit stop. Now Tape has yet to pit. He's on the, I think he's on the medium compound, if that's what I'm seeing right here. Maybe Tape will go into pits right now, not sure. Looks like a no, but Riera will have the DRS. Shouldn't be a problem for Riera. That pass, I mentioned it, Riera is in a remontada, and if he has issues with the traffic, that would give Josh Mills hope. But so far, not good for Mills. I want to mention, if you just joined the program, the first laps were bunker crazy. Josh Mills took the first position, defended like crazy for almost 6 laps, and finally had to give away that first position to Argenis Riera. But I mean, this was probably probably the best fight of the season, seriously, between these two drivers. A lot of action. So if you just join and you want to see that, go back there for the first lap and then get back on the live stream, because that was pretty crazy. Very intense and super racecraft by the drivers. So now we're still in the Richard Haney in the pits. We're still in the first pit window section, so we'll have some drivers going from hard to mediums, mediums to hard. I don't think we're going to see the soft compound right now, but as the way I see it, maybe this is going to be a 2-stopper, because the drivers are stopping before 1/3 of the race, so I doubt that they will be able to do the rest of the race on the hard compound. You know, one hard and one medium. This would be a long shot. I'm not saying it's impossible. I just say maybe performance would drop so much that they will have to do an extra pit stop. Now Lalancette and Del Castillo. Del Castillo is getting out of pits. Lalancette's in front of him. I think Lalancette has yet to pit too. So Lalancette started around, I think, 6th or 7th, not sure. And he was like 16th. So something happened to him, as well as, I think that was, Cardoso, who started 11th. And he had, Cardoso retired because of hardware issues. So his racing wheel gave up or had a mishap. That's something that can happen in sim racing. You don't have, no, I'm going to be, I stand corrected. On some games in sim racing, you don't have engine blowing up, engine blow ups. But in this game, you have everything that a car can throw at you. Punctures, engine blow ups, wings flying in the air. So, I mean, these drivers, even if they have the the mechanical failures, they can still have the hardware failures at home, which is actually very bad. But it's the equivalent of losing your steering wheel if you're in the car, you know. So Lalancette in 7th position. I'm going to be watching Walcott and Montero. Montero catching Walcott back. Remember, Montero is on the medium compound. Walcott is on the hard. He's about to lap Darren Fisher in 17th. Fisher probably pitted. And, you know, a pit stop here, you know, since the lap is pretty small, very short, a pit stop is long enough so you can go a lap down depending on the gap that you had versus first position. But I can't wait to see everyone having made their pit stop, and Darren Fisher letting Walcott go. So nice gesture, very good sportsmanship by the McLaren replacement driver. But now Zig Montero's behind him, and will that give him the DRS? I think it does. I'm not sure. No, okay, the wing's not open. but Montero had the slipstream, so he's now cut. He's now wall cut, and there's a car on the side of the track. Who's that? Tony Mitsalis. Tony Mitsalis, he stopped at the first corner, and I think he just retired. Tony Mitsalis retired from that race for the AlphaTauri team. Now Montero is in Richard Walcott's gearbox. What's gonna happen? He will have the slipstream as well as the DRS after that little snaky snake section before the third DRS zone. And I wouldn't be surprised if Zeke Montero gets that third position back on the start-finish straight. Remember, Zeke Montero was chasing Josh Mills around lap 10, perhaps. And then Montero unfortunately spun right here at that last corner, trying to get that second position from Mills. And now, look at that. Montero will grab that like nothing. He has the slipstream, but Walcott can get back behind him like Josh Mills did on Riera and slipstream back, but he does not do that. That's surprising. I mean, he was not watching that race at the beginning because he was racing, of course, but this straight is so long that you can get past in the first section of that straight and slipstream back and take the first corner dive at the end. So well done by Zeke Montero. Not very hard for him, sorry. And Richard Walcott patiently waiting. Maybe he knows that he's not on the same compound and we'll get that window of performance. But now, I mean, the window of performance, it's left 22 out of 71, and Montero's still on the medium compound, so he's doing a great operation. We thought he would go into pits because he had flat spotted his tires. Looks like easy peasy for him. Now Walcott has, Montero has more than breathing space over Walcott. He already built around 1.2, 1.3 seconds difference gap on Walcott. I'm going to try to look a little further in the field, and you got Jean-Pierre Lalancette over Juan del Castillo. And now that Castillo, I think, is in slipstream range, so that's not good for Jean-Pierre. Juan Piero Lalancette. So he actually moved on the inside line to start with just to avoid that start of the slipstream. Now he can get back. Oh, that's, I wouldn't be surprised that it is 2 changes of line on the straight. Now, there's a little curving on that start-finish straight. No, it's really straight. So I think there's no excuse for that. But remember, when he turned, he took the right line. Then he went on the racing line and defended again. So I don't know if that first move was considered as a move because he was outside of the corner. That's debatable. But I'm sure I'm sure he'll be okay on this one because it's not black and white. Richard Haney and Cook fighting for 11th position. I'll keep an eye on Del Castillo and Lalancette, because Lalancette is usually pretty aggressive. That's what we like about that driver. He can do nice moves, nice overtaking moves. He's really into fighting. So. He's an exciting driver to watch. Now, look at the gap. Lalancette will have the DRS open because he's within a second, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he does. But, not even close to Del Castillo and not reducing the gap that much. Which is unfortunate for us because we wanted them to fight it out. So John Cook following Richard Haney. Richard Haney for the Williams team. John Cook for the Alpine. Now Mills is still in first position. Has yet to pit, but he was on the hard compound. He's only 9 seconds in front. Well, maybe 10 seconds in front of Riera. Riera with a 1:15.6 has the fastest lap. So of course, Riera's hard tires are, you know, way better now and in a way better shape than whatever Mills has. The thing is, Mills will be on the medium compound for the next stint. And the big question mark over my head here is how many laps can they manage to do with a set of hard? So I'm going to go back on the live because I actually stopped it. And I'm going to try to figure out things like that and come back on the chat. So Janos to say, look at Hoppenheim already planning for being 2 laps down. Yeah, Montero. Yeah. Oh, Montero. Those tires are square. So, okay, I haven't seen a... Okay, so yeah, Magas Revi, he's doing that little sleeping emoji. Yeah, Janos, this is the time where most people are in the no man's land, and I have to keep talking about fights that are not happening. But this is what we do. We're trying to find the fights on track. Now, I'm pretty disappointed in Lalancette because usually he would have been right in Del Castillo's gearbox. So something needs to happen somewhere in order for us to grab a bite of a nice wheel-to-wheel fight. So John Cook followed by Van Leeuwen, but not quite close enough for a battle. And I'm looking at Riera's gap over Mills, and he's closing it. So when Mills will go into pit, Riera is going to grab back that first position. I mean, I'm still rooting for that 2-stop race. All the drivers took the 2 compounds as far as I see. So I mean, they could do anything on anything's on the table. Sorry for that third stint if a third stint happens. But don't sleep it up, Janos. You know, I mean, I'm sure some fight will unfold before our eyes. But if you're sleeping, just go back to the start of the race and watch it back again. I mean, you can do that. This is YouTube. This is live, so for those who don't know, you're watching the 2020. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna say it like Matt Hartley would have done. You're watching the 2024 season of the SimRacingHub F1 team on GTCQ TV. I'm Matt Hartley. Alongside me, the French-Canadian Francois Goulet. This is sponsored by Color Magic Printing. And sorry, I was about to say Color Magic Printing, quality printing and fast turnaround that you could depend on. So that's my best Matt Hartley impression. He's not here to defend himself, so kudos to me for just making fun of him why he cannot retaliate. Still on the chat, nothing more than Janos sleeping with his little sleep emoji. And, oh, Mills is in the pits. Mills is in the pits. Something exciting is happening here. So we're watching the pit crew not being here. They're the invisible pit crew as we see Jacobo Cardoso's car in the pit box. And now Josh Mills is out, back on track. So he's behind Richard Haney, slipstreaming. Will Haney let him go at the first corner? Not even. I mean, Josh Mills has some cold tires now. On my screen, it is still the hard compound. That doesn't mean that that's what he has, because usually it takes about a lap or two for the proper tire compound to show its real colors. Sorry, I think it's funny. John Cook and Darren Fish. Oh, John Cook is in the wall. Ooh. Okay, something happened with John Cook in 16th position. He's actually looking at one of the marshals right now in his big truck, and his front wing is staying right there. I think that would be maybe a DNF for John Cook. I wouldn't be surprised if I see that car retire within a few seconds. Yes, it is. So John Cook, DNF. Well, as Janos said, Jeff Oppenheim is 2 laps behind, which means is not John Cook is still, even if he DNF'd, still in front of him. Now you got quite a small gap between Cliff Van Leeuwen and Bill Worrell, so this is another battle unfolding. Yeah, okay, we're back on the exciting side. If actually Bill Worrell can open his DRS at some point. And guess what? Walcott's in front, so he's Worrell's teammate. He's one lap in front. The problem is that he provided Cliff Van Leeuwen with a nice slipstream, which prevented Bill Worrell from taking that position. That's unfortunate. But can Walcott just do the teammate game? Actually, he's getting blue flags, so no, that's not exactly what I'm saying. No. That's the opposite. Walcott is one lap in front, so he can do whatever he wants. I was thinking the opposite way. So he can play the teammate game and make Cliff Van Leeuwen lose time. No, he's just making him lose downforce. That's the only thing that happens. Riera with a 1:15.595. I think that's the same fast lap that he had. Cliff Van Leeuwen a little bit wide in the stadium entry. Worrell following him. The difference is it's more than 1 second. So Bill Worrell won't have the DRS. Now we'll be watching Lalancette and Ricardo Senior. So the two first, the two teammates for the first place in the teams championship. And look who's there. Senior is there. Lalancette is there, but Josh Mills. Okay, and Lalancette really good gesture here from the teammate. He knows he can catch Senior, but let Josh Mills go. In order for him to be able to catch Argenis Riera and keep his championship hopes alive. I mean, it's not done till it's done, but so far Riera is in a great position to clinch that. Now, Josh Mills has to pass Ricardo Sr. Ricardo Sr. not doing anything bad about Josh Mills. Now Senior has to defend on Jean-Pierre Lalancette. This is a real fight. It would have been a real fight between Senior and Mills. I mean, these guys were not fighting each other. But now Lalancette arriving like a mad train behind Ricardo Senior with the slipstream and the DRS open. Ricardo Senior not even trying to protect that position. And Lalancette back in 9th position. Same thing here for Bill Worrell and Cliff Van Leeuwen. Same section, same situation. Now Bill Worrell with his the DRS open, easy peasy, even before the corner apex, and now Worrell takes that 12th position. And Josh Mills just did the fastest lap with a 1:15.466. So well done. That was maybe 2 laps ago, not exactly 1 lap ago. We're not quite half race yet, but we're almost there. So Mills is 14.2 seconds behind Argenis Riera. The only thing that Mills has yet to do is take that medium compound. If he takes that medium compound, can he gain 15 seconds? And that is if he can keep that gap exactly like it is. So we wish good luck to Josh Mills on this adventure, because so far it does not look good at all. I'm going to knock on wood for those who were not there at the start of the race. Every time I say something bad happened to a driver, and I don't want to be that, bad luck prophet, or I don't know you call that in English, but, spoiler, or just, bad luck dude. I'm going to be the bad luck dude. So, drivers, then again, in no man's land, we have the smallest gap on track is 2 seconds between Cliff Van Leeuwen and Bill Worrell. I think Worrell just took that position from Cliff. And people on the live are quite silent. Bad omen. Oh, bad omen. Okay, good. Thank you for. Yeah, I'm still French Canadian. I don't know all the words, huh? I think I'm doing quite well, though. I don't want to be of bad omen. For those who saw that movie, The Omen, that was not me. I'm trying to find some fighting on track. Richard Haney and Ricardo Sr. seems to be the future flavor of the day. Oh, Ricardo Sr. just spun. He spun. Did he lose a piece? No? Okay, I think he might have damage, though, because his wing went straight to the wall. So Ricardo Sr., dirty tires, maybe a damaged car. Luke is showing up. Bill Whirl. So Ricardo Sr., I think, was in 10th position. He lost a spot there. Spun the car exactly, I think that was at turn 4. And that's not good for him. And that's going to provide us, that's good for us, because there will be a fight. And Bill Whirl is within DRS. Now that's the DR. I think that was the detection zone right there. So Bill Whirl will have that slipstream in DRS. Could be easy peasy for Bill. And yes, sir. So Bill Whirl back in 11th, taking that position from Ricardo Senior. So that's bad luck for Senior, although he didn't lose the front wing like we saw the other do when they clipped a concrete barrier with the front nose. And we got Marty Simo just showed up in the live from the F1 podcast. If you understand French, or if you want to have your Google's translate, go look him up on your all your favorite streaming platform for podcasts. I use Spotify myself, and enjoy all the latest news and preparation for weekends, even programs between the races to keep you informed on any news regarding F1 for the F1 podcast. That means without helmet in French. And I'm also part of that podcast every now and then when I'm invited to talk about F1. So thank you, Marty, for being here. And what are you saying here? Mexico City, what a great venue for F1. One of the races on my bucket list. This is not a race, this is a F1 party, and I got to go live this one day. Well, we were talking about that. We were wondering what happens if Sergio Perez drops from F1. Will there be still a Mexican Grand Prix? I wish yes, because this is a great venue, and I also wish that Pato Award steps up and takes the next Mexican spot on the F1 grid, but that's a talk for another day. But yeah, very good venue, signature stadium. I like the way, like at the end, that they do a big party in the stadium with the drivers in the podium. I mean, that Autodromo has been on the calendar for quite some time, even, on and off. So I think that race has its place in the calendar, even if there's not a Mexican driver. I mean, you still got Hungaroring and you don't have any Hungarian drivers. So, there's a point here. Same for Spa. There's no Belgian driver right now. Back in the race, Bill Whirl and Senior are the two drivers closest to each other, and they're not even striking distance. I'm sorry, Marty, that you have to show up right now and see what's not happening, but if you want to come back to the first lap, this was really intense. Josh Mills started second, took the first position at the first corner like we expected, and then kept it for about 6 laps in one of the craziest fight we had all season. So that's the thing that you should definitely go see. Glenn Cooper and Juan del Castillo getting closer, and okay, that's different brothers in front, so that's the back marker. But yeah, I mean, this race has started like no other this year. A great fight, great racecraft, defending position, slipstream, getting back the position. Uh, everything that you wanted from a good race start. But that was not sustainable, unfortunately, for Josh Mills, that had to give that position up because the slipstream was too major for Riera, and they were on different tire compounds as well. So I mean, that was a masterpiece by Josh Mills, and I just hope he has the strategy to get back at Mr. Riera. So now 15 seconds separating Mills and Riera, almost 17 is fluctuating. Del Castillo is between 1.5 and 2 seconds away from Cooper. Those are the slim margins that I see, the slim gaps that I see on the track right now. So lap 36 out of 71. I don't know if we're going to see pit stops soon. I don't think so, since most of the people are on the hard compound. The only drivers I think that has yet to do the second compound is Mills, because he was on hards, still hards, will be finishing on mediums. I'm sure he planned that strategy in order to clinch the fastest lap at the end with the softer compound. I remind everybody that the compounds for this race are the C3 to C5 spec, which are the the softest of the 5 compounds. 71 laps. We are halfway through the race, a little bit above that. And we should have some fighting going on soon, because usually when there's a lot of drivers, after quite a while, you see those gap reducing and all the drivers bunching up. And we got Cliff Van Leeuwen and Darren Fisher for 13th position, as I'm talking about that. So now we're going to see some fights unfold. And Fisher, that's the thing. Fisher just overtook Cliff Van Leeuwen on the straight. And unlike Mills that did that in the first lap, nobody's trying to slipstream back. This is such a long straight. So if you get past in the first section of that straight, you can actually get back behind the car and slipstream your way back and make that first corner dive to, salvage a position or just keep your position that you had prior to that straight. Glenn Cooper and Juan del Castillo, not far from each other. I'll be looking at that. So Cooper in 6th position. What does that give him for the championship? He's 4th in the championship. That's good for him because he's 3 points in front of Zeke Montero, but Montero, Montero is in 3rd right now. So, he has to score good points to keep Montero at bay, but as it is right now, Montero will jump him in the standings. Yeah, Pato O'Ward will be in the McLaren tomorrow for FP1, of course, man. I'm going to be watching these results because I want to see how well he can do in a Formula One car. We never know. If a McLaren driver just bails out, like go elsewhere, Lando or Oscar, that would be maybe an opening for Pato O'Ward. We never know. Pato O'Ward did some Formula 2, raced, pretty much everywhere. He's in IndyCar right now. That's a complete driver, really talented. I would love to see him have a shot at F1. Cooper and Del Castillo still close to each other, but Del Castillo reducing the gap, is within striking distance, less than 1 second. So there's going to be a DRS open pretty soon. Now the gaps on track are quite large, except for these 2 drivers. And this is fluctuating between just less than 1 second, about 0.9 and 1.3. So the detection zone is here. And No, I don't think this is it right now. Del Castillo was too far away from what I saw on my overlay, so I really wonder at what distance can you feel the slipstream. So now you got Riera about to take a lap on Del Castillo, but Riera really needs to be patient, as I said earlier, because okay, so Del Castillo saw that, blue flags, thank you very much, a little wave from Riera to say thank you. Good gestures by the two drivers right here. That's gonna give also the problem is gonna give Del Castillo a little bit more work in order to catch Glenn Cooper. And Cooper is not, Cooper is going to be a tough customer on this one because he needs to keep that position in his fight with Zeke Montero in the championship. Yeah, Hungaroring will be there forever. Yeah, that's a go-kart track. Drivers like it. But they should ride go-karts there. Okay, Cliff Van Leeuwen and Darren Fisher. What's going on with these? Okay, I think one's in the pit, so nothing to see as there. And Riera back in the pits. Riera back in the pits. So we're at lap 41 out of 71. Remember, Riera started on the medium compound. Now he was on the hard compound. He pitted quite early, so can't wait to see what tire he's gonna take. That was quite quick. Of course, no fuel, just tires, so pit stops are really, really short in Formula 1. And now Riera's back behind Zeke Montero. I don't think Montero's going to let him pass. So far, I see hard compound. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the good compound. When I say good, I mean right compounds, because sometimes when they get out of the pits, we don't see the real color of the tire before 1 or 2 laps. But that would make sense. There's 30 laps to go. Riera has a good gap on Josh Mills. He's fast enough. He has the fastest lap. And I think he can sustain that for... and he doesn't need the fastest lap. He just needs to win that race wherever Josh Mills finishes, and he clinches the championship. Following Zeke Montero. This is going to be fun to watch. What will Montero do as Darren Fisher and Brotherson are fighting for 14th position on track? Now Riera, same thing in the slipstream, but not quite close enough. Because something could happen between Riera and Montero. Something happens, and Riera has a bad luck. I mean, we never know. If he retires, that gets the championship back on track big time, big time. So now Riera right behind Zeke Montero. What is Montero going to do? And will that dirty air affect Argenis Riera? Now Riera, he knows he's not going to take any risks here. I mean, that's his championship to lose if he commits any mistake. So far, he has yet to do any. He has been on the safe side all that race. And look at that. Yeah, okay, so that, patiently waiting for the right moment, and the right moment is right now. DRS Open, big slipstream, Zeke Montero. Oh, Zeke Montero's doing it, getting back, but not enough straight for him to get back at Riera, but he has done what Mills has done in the first laps. But now Montero is sliding a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes in the pits soon to get a new set of stickers. So now Riera 7 seconds behind Josh Mills. Josh Mills will be pitting, I guess, within 6 laps maybe, because he has to do the medium compound. That, you know, I predict that's going to give him the fastest lap, but not going to be enough for him to keep his championship hopes alive. So for those who just joined, if Argenis Riera scored 3 points on Josh Mills, this is his championship. So he has been stellar all this season, doing a lot of pole positions, winning many races. I mean, he had a few bad lucks, disconnections. I remember the strategy issue in Imola. But he would have that championship right away, because at the start of the season, these drivers were, you know, getting wins back and forth. But at some point, Riera just made a statement and was always just a little bit on top of Josh Mills. But Josh Mills has been doing some great driving too. I mean, he never gave up, and it's not over yet. So we never know what's going to happen in this race. Oh, Ricardo Sr. does not have a front wing. So that's new aerodynamics. You don't need a front wing in Mexico because there's no air. So you don't need that downforce, you know. So Ricardo Sr. is going back in the pits. That's an eventful race for him. We have seen him spin. So now he's getting back into pits to get a new nose. He's going for a nose job. I think if you go for Mexico for a nose job, it's less expensive than in the US or Canada. Yeah. My producer said something to me, and as a matter of fact, yes, I am. So, sorry. What about Senior? Yeah. It's taking quite some time, but they have to change the front wing, and now he's got a new mustache on his nose. All right, good. We're good. So Ricardo Sr., I mean, not in a good position to score points. Lap 45 out of 71. Sorry. And the gaps on track. Zeke Montero, 2.7 seconds behind Riera. And Josh Mills has yet to do his second pit. So I predicted it, a 2-pitter. And Josh Mills has the fastest second sector. Now the laps are getting pretty much down, you know. The fastest lap's a 1:14.6, and Mills managed to do a 1:14.899, which was faster than the fastest lap from Riera prior to his pit stop. Now Glenn Cooper and Juan Del Castillo, they're about to fight it out again. And Del Castillo has, I think he had the DRS open. But Josh Mills is actually showing up right behind him. So then again, yeah, okay, Del Castillo letting Mills go. Now Cooper will probably do the same. But what we want to see is a fight between Glenn Cooper and Señor El Fuego, Juan Del Castillo. If you're wondering why we're calling him Señor El Fuego, it's because in the first 2 or 3 races, his car caught fire twice. So I remember Suzuka, I think that was the first race of the season at the hairpin, like the car went on fire after he got hit by a Mercedes. That was quite interesting and entertaining, I gotta say. I was surprised to see a car on fire. Well, Glenn Cooper took it wide at the stadium entrance. Now Del Castillo right on his tail. We got a battle for 6th position. Yoo-hoo! Narkendi McLaren fend off the Alpine and the straight line. DRS open. Juan Del Castillo firing on the inside. Oh no! Whoa, okay. I thought he was close enough to overtake him pretty easy peasy, but no, Glenn Cooper managed to keep that position. Del Castillo not taking any risks. Now he's more than, look at that. Okay, so 6 to 7 tenths of a second behind Cooper. He needs to get back on the horse and be on the attack. I mean, that position is right there, up for grabs for Juan Del Castillo. Glenn Cooper didn't really defend. And as I said, Cooper needs to get all the points he can grab in order to keep his spot in the championship standing. Now, Zeke Montero in third position and Cooper in sixth. Montero would jump Cooper in the driver's standings. He's only 3 points in front. Low section. Now Del Castillo has dropped to 1.5 to 1.8 seconds behind Cooper. So what's going on? He was right there on the attack, and now this is not happening anymore. Lap 48 out of 71. We saw some cars close to each other further up front, but that's a back marker and a car that's lapping, so no fight to be seen there. That's just Josh Mills, getting his Sunday drive around the back markers. So yeah, this weekend will be the Mexico Grand Prix. For those who live in the North American continent or any American part, whatever, this is quite a nice event. You know, you can bring some friends home, watch the race in the afternoon, enjoy a little Tecate drink and some potato chips, and enjoy a great Formula One race. As always, as we saw also in this race, the first corner is super nice to see. Great start. Usually the guy in the pole position does not stay there, as the exact same thing happened here. So enjoy this Grand Prix, the Grand Prix this weekend. It's starting tomorrow with the FP1. All right, we're back in no man's land. The smallest gap on track is 4 seconds. Juan Del Castillo on Glenn Cooper. I don't know what's happening with Del Castillo. I think his tires might be dropping in performance, quite a big amount, because he was right there on the attack, and now he's nowhere to be found. Argenis Riera is arriving behind Glenn Cooper letting Riera go. I mean, he slowed down big time. That's going to bring Del Castillo within 3 seconds, but I mean, that's not enough for Del Castillo to do anything. Riera 7.5 seconds behind Mills. Mills has to pit another time, because if he does not, first, I'm sure he will have a puncture at some point, and then he will be doing what we call a Riera, which is not changing the tires and having to stop at the end. Hashtag Imola 2024. So now behind you got Del Castillo, but that's back marker-ish. Darren Fisher, Cliff Van Leeuwen. Oh, Van Leeuwen in the pit, so that's why I saw a little bit of reddish in my overlay. I thought there was a fight going on. Unfortunately, it is not what's happening. So Cliff Van Leeuwen started last. Now he's in 13th position doing his last pit stop. So that's Zeke Montero. Dangerously trying to take advantage of that slipstream. Montero has great times. He's a 1:14.7. That puts him in second position for the fastest lap. Was the second fastest lap of the race. So, I mean, I would have expected Montero maybe, a little bit closer to the frontmans, especially with what he provided us in the start. Although the frontmans were fighting, so that what's kept Montero close to these gentlemen. But he was right there taking advantage of anything that could have happened between the two. Fisher in 12th position, trying to pass Juan Del Castillo, so unlap himself from this gentleman. So he's unlapping himself from the 7th position. That's the topic of the day. I'm going to look on the live so people are writing stuff. Mills going very long. Yes, he does, Janos. Yes, he does. Yeah, he's going to need some hammer time on the last stint. And the spin killed Montero. I think you're right. You're right. The spin killed Montero. We remembered that, but it killed his pace. Not just that particular event, but, I mean, on the long run. Now, I mean, there is 20 laps to go. Mills has to stop. Riera is 5 seconds behind Mills. I mean, I think Riera might be... I don't think Mills is going to let Riera catch him before the pit stop. But that's going to be a whole pit stop ahead of Mills for Riera. So, I mean, that's about, what, 20 seconds? So Mills really has to do, 1 second faster a lap than Riera for the rest of the race. So, I mean, that's very unlikely. Mills needs to pray for God right now, if he's religious or not. And now Montero just did the fastest lap with a 1:14.635. So now he's back on the horse and going for fast times. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Josh Mills has to keep stopping because he didn't do the medium compound. And there he is. He's it. So first stint's on hard, second stint on hards, and now he's there. Sean Higgins and Lalancette are fighting in the meantime. I'm going to watch the fight because, I mean, Mills is in the pits, but nothing to see there. There's a fight for 8th position, and Lalancette, oh, they almost touched. So Sean Higgins and Lalancette almost touched. Lalancette very aggressive on Sean Higgins. Higgins on the soft compound, Lalancette on the medium compound. Josh Mills is out of the pits in the meantime. We'll see the gaps a little later on. I'm watching the fight between Sean Higgins because I haven't seen a fight for like 3 hours now. And now Lalancette on the outside on Higgins. That's really bold and dangerous. And Lalancette growing impatient on Higgins, but Higgins defending like crazy. Now Higgins, they're going to be side by side in the stadium, and Higgins almost spinning. I think, yeah, they touched. They probably touched. Really aggressive from Lalancette. Not the most patient Quebecer, I can tell you that. So back with Mills. Mills is 17 seconds behind Argenis Riera. So we'll be looking at this gap. And now you look, he's on the medium compound as predicted. We'll have a back marker here, but that's going to give him slipstream and DRS. I mean, why is Darren Fisher doing that? I mean, you just keep your line and Mills will go around you with DRS. I know that was a good gesture, but... Lalancette, oh, Walcott. Okay, no, Walcott is 4th and has... he's getting on, I think... Lalancette has unlapped himself maybe on him, or he's just browsing through the field, and that's him coming through the field, and we'll be passing Lalancette soon. So Walcott, good operation for the Ferrari driver, is really fast in the, I mean, all season long, but he has shown up on the podium many times in the previous races, so well done from the Ferrari driver. And so far, everybody's back in no man's land. Darren Fisher in 12, only 1.6 seconds behind Bill Worrell. This might be a fight that we can enjoy in a few seconds. Josh Mills is doing some fast sectors right now. I was about to say I wouldn't be surprised if he does the fastest lap, which he just did, with a 1:14.471. So that's a flush of 1 and 4s with an extra 7. So Mills is now 13 seconds behind Riera, and we have 16 laps to go. So if I look at that, the last lap from Riera is a 1:15.3. Last lap by Mills is a 1:14.4, which is about 9/10 difference, almost a second. If Mills keeps that pace, can he get back at Riera's? Now it's 15 seconds behind him. It's fluctuating, so he was like 13 something seconds behind Riera. We'll have to keep an eye on that guy, that gap reducing. So now that's 13 seconds, 12. So has anything happened to Riera? Something might have happened to Riera, because now it's 11 or 12 seconds. And now it's getting back to 13, 14. Okay, well, I don't understand. Sometimes the gaps are just fluctuating so much depending on the section of the track they are. But it fluctuated from like 3 to 1, 3 to 1 second difference. No, I mean 13 to 11. You mean, I don't know, you know what I mean. Glenn Cooper, Bill Whirl and Darren Fisher. That's the fight that is about to unfold for 11th position. Not quite in the points, but just on the, on the doorstep. So Darren Fisher, I think, is gaining on Whirl, is within 1.2 to 7/10, depending on where they are. The accordion effect. Yeah. Janos in the live is saying, get the fastest lap with fresh tires. Yeah. Oh, Bill Whirl wide on the slowest part of the track. That gives Darren Fisher a little breathing space. Oh no, Darren Fisher just spun. Same place as Zeke Montero did. And now, I think, he damaged the car, probably. He tried to spin back on track and hit the rear left on the barrier at the pit entrance. So that's not good. The car seems to be in one piece, but I mean, Darren Fisher just threw away a good opportunity at a position right there. Still keeping the 12th, though. Yeah, he's 11 seconds in front of Cliff Van Lee Ward, so that's not going to happen. So we have quite some huge gaps on track. We have, Josh Mills is not gaining anything right now on Argenis Riera, still about 14.5 to 15 seconds. And the smallest gap we have is 7 seconds. So we're far away from having a fight right there. We're going to look at Riera's just browsing through the field, overtaking back markers. So he has a lap on Sean Higgins almost. Well, actually, everybody till 4th position is a lap down. Now Riera is probably about to pass Richard Walcott in a few seconds. Yeah, that's him about 100 meters in front at the next corner. So I presume that before the end of the race, only the podium will be in the lead lap. Yeah. The mediums will drop performance soon. I think Riera has this thing in the bag. Yes, sir. It appears so. Although, as soon as he passed Mills on the 6th lap, I kind of knew it was in the bag, unless something happens. But yeah, I mean, he has been stellar all season long, controlling his car on top of the setups. So Argenis Riera doing the great operation here. Unfortunate for Josh Mills, because I really thought that we could get that fight till the end of the season. I mean, the ultimate round. But Riera is not stealing anything. He deserves everything he has. But we're still shy of 12 laps for that penultimate round. Remember, you're watching the 2024 Sim Racing Hub F1 Championship on GTCQ TV. This is sponsored by Color Magic Printing, quality printing and fast turnaround that you can depend on. Go on their website, colormagic.biz, and order yourself, treat yourself with some good merch at whatever logo you want. You can customize the posters, t-shirts, mugs, pens. I mean, I can't name everything because it would actually take the last 12 laps, but they provided me with a great piece of memorabilia for that season, which is it's a poster, but I don't know the material that it's made of. It's like a textile, plastic-ish with rings, and I can hang it, but I can nail it on the wall. That's what I did, and I got the layout of this circuit, COTA, and the Brazil circuit, which is the last one. So for me, it's a great piece that I have in my race room, as I shown last week. So maybe for Christmas, I will order a picture of Gilles Villeneuve and Enzo Ferrari. I have something in mind, so I'll send them to Color Magic Printing and give that poster to my father for Christmas. I might buy one for myself as well. So now the gaps on track. Ooh, I said the smallest gap before was 7 seconds. It is still 7 seconds between Del Castillo and Cooper, and for all the others, the gap has increased. So Richard Walcott is about... Okay, so he has Jean-Pierre Lalancette behind him. Okay, so now Lalancette is in front of Riera. What will Lalancette do when Riera shows up? That's what's on my mind. I don't know. You know, will he do a Schumacher and pretend he didn't see him and side bump him? Hashtag Adelaide 1994? Or will he do a Jerez 1997 and, you know, just say that he was taking the corner, did not expect him to dive in? We never know. I will be watching that, actually. Okay, no, Lalancette letting Riera pass. So, gentlemen, move from Lalancette. I mean, there's nothing to do here. We're all friends. So, Riera just cruising. And his last lap is a 1:15.3. Mills' last lap is a 1:14.8. Now, Montero has a 1:40.0 on his last lap. I want to see Zeke Montero. And looks like he's on the hard compound, so that's well done by Zeke Montero. I think I'm just going to go on board with Zeke. And watch how he drives that, because he looks very fast. I mean, how did he manage to do that? A 1:14 flat with hard tires. That's unbelievable. Looking at gaps, still 7 seconds. No, unfortunate. 8 seconds, the smallest gap we have on track. Everybody's in no man's land. Okay, well, I said I wouldn't do it, but I'm going to do it because last time I did it, something happened and we had some action. So the gaps are quite steady. Nothing should happen before the end of the race. Things will finish exactly like that. Wink, wink. So I'm waiting for something to happen. Like, I don't know, somebody loses his wing, somebody spins, somebody takes off like a plane. But nothing happening. But Josh Mills is now 10 seconds behind Riera. Probably too little, too late, but that gap is decreasing. And he has a back marker in front of him. Don't know who that is, though. I will know in a few seconds. So I'm watching Mill. Okay, that's Darren Fisher in 14th position. Now Riera has a green first sector, which is improving on himself but not improving on the best. On the live, C3 goes the end very consistently. And Janos is doing voodoo move on Aston Martin F1. Yeah, it's what is that incantation thing? Yama yama. Yama 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 yama. But I can't do that. I'm not partial. I'm impartial. But for those who saw that movie, I think it was Police Academy 4 when he does that voodoo, like yama 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 yama. But that's what you need to do, Janos. But you do whatever, huh? You know, I'm not involved into that. I'm just here to describe a race. But I want action. I'm a man of action. Oh, and Mills. Oh, wow. Mills just took that third corner on the slide. Phew. Tokyo drifting in Mexico. But that was well controlled by Mr. Mills. Now he's back 12 seconds behind Argenis Riera. So, yeah, that gap is fluctuating too much for me to keep track of it. Now, Juan del Castillo, 5.5 seconds behind Glenn Cooper. Everybody really is in no man's land. I mean, I'm not doing voodoo on anybody. I'm going to do voodoo on the whole field for something to happen. We want to fight. I mean, in 2 weeks, we will have the last round of the 2024 season. It's in Brazil at Autodromo Carlos Pache, which is Interlagos. You know, it's a track that usually provides great racing for the real Formula One calendar. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have a good race there from our field right now. On the live, we got 8 viewers right now, but I know that there's way more of you that watch the race afterwards. For those who are browsing fast through the video, don't forget to watch the start of that race, which was super exciting. Josh Mills about to pass Ricardo Senior. Ricardo Senior, which is Richard Senior in English and Richard Senior in French. Just a little bit of English teaching and French teaching here for those who don't speak la langue de Molière and maybe don't speak la langue de Shakespeare. Shakespeare's tongue. Now Zeke Montero still holds that 1:14.054 for the fastest lap. We're at lap 66 out of 71. And Riera is in a good position to clinch that championship. Cruising in Mexico. Probably will be doing a party with some mariachis and tequilas after that race, that's for sure. Is there money involved? I don't know. Maybe he's so fast that he's going to be abducted by the cartels for them to drive their go fast cars. We never know. Everybody looks for talents nowadays. Viejo Caja. Okay. Lo vimo Yaha or Yaya. Okay, so they're starting to speak Spanish on the live. So Chia Montero no le dio la naftaje. La cago coleándose Yaya. Los vimos Yaya. Stevie esa parte ya está viejo. Viejo Caja. Okay, so I can pronounce. But I didn't understand all of that. I got my limits. So, oh, there's a fight. There's a fight. Ricardo Sr. and Darren Fisher for 13th position. Side by side in first corner. This is incredible. Now Ricardo Sr. managed to keep the position. Darren Fisher just spun. He's in the grass. Incredible racing. Darren Fisher replacing Otto Acosta tonight. He's in the grass. Our new lawnmower man. He Husqvarna'd his way back on track. We know that Darren Fisher has great efficiency on his battery because he's sponsored by DeWalt, and we know that DeWalt 2s has great battery sustainability. Now, Zeke Montero, look at that. A 112 point. Okay, Zeke Montero decided, I'm going to treat myself with some soft tire compound because I'm in front of Walcott enough so I can make a pit stop and I won't catch Josh Mills. Look at that. 112.9. So this is almost the qualification times. He's 1 second away from the pole position time, or a little bit more, but still, well done by Zeke Montero, you know, snatching that fast lap. I don't think nobody will have an answer to that before the end but himself. Yeah, by Janos Magasrevi and Capo Total by Aaron Rabi. Aaron Rabi, who has spoken a little bit in the live. Now you got Zeke Montero about to pass Jeff Oppenheim, about to pass Bill Worrell. These guys are not even in the same planet with each other. Montero is really coming like a mad train. Oh, almost ran into Bill Worrell that went on the right side. That could have been catastrophic for Zeke Montero. No kidding, because he was inches away from hitting Bill Worrell in the gearbox. Seriously, that was dangerous. That's what happens, Mr. Montero, when you get these soft compounds. You go so fast that people in front of you do not expect you arriving that fast. Now Montero is outside of the track. I think he's too excited about the soft compound and the fastest lap thingy. It's crazy the difference of speed with these tires. I mean, I remember seeing the hard compound going inside the stadium, and this is way different. You really can feel the speed out of those sticker tires. Now, 2 laps to go, or 3, depending on where you are on the track. Riera leading. He's in the stadium. You can hear the crowd cheer. So arriving at lap 70 out of 71, 2 laps to go for the championship leader, separating him for his 4th championship in the SimRacingHub F1 competition. Argenis Riera has to be solid for 2 more laps in Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Juan del Castillo in 7th position. He's Janos Magastrevi, driver of the day. So will Riera do donuts at the end? I think he might. And Alejandro Sanabria says, solo estoy esperando el final de carrera para ver el Ingles de Montero. The thing is, somebody wants donuts. Josh in the pits. Did Josh? Yeah, Josh went in the pits. You're right. I missed that. But I think he wants that fastest lap. But I mean, he probably wishes to do the fastest lap and something happens to Riera. Because that's not going to give him anything. Mathematically, if Riera wins, it's over. And now he's got 2 back markers in front of him. Well, we never know. Because in the stadium, can he pass those two back markers at the start-finish straight for that last lap? He might. He might. He has to get the cooperation of Higgins. I don't think, yeah, he's not going to be able to pass Higgins. Higgins has to give way to Josh Mills in order for Mills. Oh, they almost crashed into each other. Mills really parked it there in the second quarter. That could have been catastrophic for Mills. We have seen that for Montero as well. Now Mills has the fastest first corner. Of course, that slipstream really helped, but it could have been dramatic. And Riera crosses the finish line waving, and this is done. Riera wins the race and clinches the championship. But let's look at Josh Mills just making a statement, trying to grab that fastest lap in the race. I think he might do it. Arriving at sector number 2. Yeah, purple. I think he's going to snatch it from Montero, making me lie about that because I thought nobody would do that. But Mills is doing it. And he's arriving at the last corner. And Sean Higgins and Richard Haney are fighting while, yeah, Josh Mills is actually grabbing that fastest lap. And Higgins and Haney right next to each other, arriving at the start-finish line for 9th and 10th, wrapping up the points. Cliff Van Leeuwen and Ricardo Sr. fighting on track. No, I think they actually passed the start-finish line. This is over, gentlemen and ladies. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, that's a cool finish. That's a cool finish to a race that started like crazy and actually had quite a long... Oh, donuts! We're having donuts from Marginis Riera, the champion. Look at that. Yes, sir. Not a lot of smoke, though. And Riera is our new lawnmower man. He just crossed through the grass. Woof. Okay. Well done. Congrats to Argenis Riera. Clinched the championship 1 round before the end, preventing us from a last round finale. But we're going to have a good race in Interlagos. I'm pretty sure about that. I'm going to put back my Ferrari hat before the end of that race. So well done by Josh Mills, clinching the point for the fastest lap, which gives him 20 and I think 25 for Argenis Riera. I'm gonna have some drivers coming for the interviews. So we got Josh Mills, who just joined the chat. We should have Riera and Montero arriving soon. Well, I'm gonna start right away with you, Josh. First of all, you gave it all. Congrats for the show. I gotta, lift my hat to you. The first laps were probably the most enjoyable laps I've had in the whole season. So I want to wait till the other guys gets here to ask my questions because I want them to hear whatever. But and also that last lap at the end, you stole it. So I thought that Zeke Montero would run away with it, but you decided otherwise, which was quite clever because you had, I think, enough space to go make a safe pit stop. Of course, all the pit stops are safe there because there's no team to screw it up for you.
Yeah,
but they're
pit lane's so short as well.
Yeah, it is, huh? Isn't it? Yeah. I really enjoy. What's the exact pit delta? Like 17 seconds? Am I right?
It's probably around 20, but that's lower. One of the lowest ones of the whole season. I'd say the average is probably 24, 25 seconds throughout the season.
Okay. And who we got? We got our Argenis Riera, our new champion for the fourth time, I heard, because I'm still fairly new to that championship, so I don't know all the history around
Yeah,
that.
congrats, man.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, well done, well done. And we're, I think, waiting for Zeke Montero, but I don't see him. I don't see him in the. I don't see him in the paddock, so I'm not sure he's gonna show up. So I'll start with you two guys. First of all, uh, we're not done with the season, but the championship is clinched, and Zeke Montero is here. Okay, so we got everybody. So we're not done with the season, but this championship is clinched. You guys gave it all at the start. So I'm gonna start with our Genis. When the race start, and we know it in Mexico, usually when you get the pole position, you're in a precarious position because it's not the preferable place since you got such a long straight before the first corner, and usually the slipstream of the second, maybe in third position, gets the best out of you. So I saw you guys were 3 wide in the first corner. So Argenis, what were you thinking when you were kind of squeezed up between these two cars in the first corner? What went through your mind?
Yeah, I had no a good start, but yeah, I was very impressive when Josh went to outside the tracks and gain the position. Was a good move there. And then I saw Ezekiel in my side, so I thought it wasn't going to be good that so I break a bit early, so then that is
Yeah, you
I
live
had a good
you live
patience.
to survive. From my point of view, and probably the viewers, you were playing safe to survive and then wait till it sort itself out in order to be able to attack and gain positions later.
Yeah, I knew Ezekiel. It's a clever driver. I don't know how the word is.
Yeah, you got it. Ever smart.
It was going to be behind us and waiting for any touch or crash for us. So that is.
Yeah, but well, he was there all the way. He actually yielded because he was on the inside and you guys were fighting on the outside. And me too, I was really surprised to see Josh Mills dive, but when I saw that, I really understood, and I'm going to you, Josh, right now. I understood that you gave it all. I'm going in this race giving it all because if I don't do anything special, I'm not going to be able to grab it. So for you, I saw you started on the hards, which was surprising for me. I was surprised by that. And what was your strategy or way of thinking when you started behind in second position, and what went through your mind in these laps? Defending, slipstreaming back, and everything. What was your mindset on this token?
Well, going into the race start, I was like, I have to get him turn one. So I knew I was going to have to pull a move, whether it was the outside or the inside, and just try and make it stick, which it did.
Mhm.
And it was a bit risky on the hard tires trying to go for that because they take a lap or two to come in. But I don't know. I think the hard tire was really good this race. So I saw my lap times on it were pretty similar to the medium. So I decided to start on it and just go long and hope to pass Argenis and kind of hold him up for a few laps, which I did. Wish I could have done it a few more, but ultimately the strategy didn't work out towards the end of the race. The mediums just didn't last for me, and that's kind of been my problem all season is getting the rear tires to last a bit longer. I haven't been able to do that like Argenis. I've really suffered in some of these races due to that, and kind of why I was like, all right, let's just go for the fastest lap. Got a gap. Got it.
Well, nice. Well, I got to tell you, there was a little poll on the live. I think Janos was just not here for the race. Said the one for the driver of the day, but this race was short-lived for us viewers because the fights really happened in the first. I say 10 to 15 laps, but what happened in the first 6 laps was really interesting. So for me today, for that, I give you my driver of the day because you really showed some aggressivity, some great skills, and you guys really gave it all there. But I really enjoyed that particular part, just that mindset going like all in, like in poker. You put all your chips there and you're trying, and it worked for quite a while. But I mean, with the DRS and all that slipstream, it was really hard, especially in the hard tires with Argenis with the medium behind. And I thought that Montero had the hard, but he had the medium as well. So you were under attack. So for that, I mean, you get my vote today because you really gave it all, and I highly respect that.
Appreciate it.
Well, my pleasure. And Mr. Montero, now your turn. First of all, congrats on the pace on that race. You had the fastest lap quite often. You stole it, here and there from Josh or Argenis mostly. And in this first laps as well, you were right behind him, just waiting for something to happen. So I remember that you were right there, and when Argenis passed Josh, now you were on the attack. And what really happened at that spin last corner? Did you try to push too much, and then you spun that, and then what happened a little bit with your race? Because you lost quite a bit, but after that you were really fast. So I couldn't quite understand why you were so behind Josh at some point. So how did you get your race managed?
The first I well to the start, and then I push to pass shots, but I think the rear overwhelming. I don't know. I lost the rear. I spin, so I focused to try to the time manager the tire to go longer. Then with the lapper, I lost focus, and then I tried to finish. I tried to do the faster lap. I lose it.
Yeah, you had it, but you lost it because Josh got it at the end.
Yeah, so I try. I can to do something, but today I don't have the pace.
Okay. Well, y'all gave us a good show, and for you showed some speed. Even if you lost focus at some point, you were showing speed all race long, but you were really in a position that you were not attacking, and you were not under attack by Walcott that was in fourth position. So well done too. So I mean, great podium. This is good for your team too, because the McLaren are not scoring points. So I think you're probably clinching your team championship as well. Even if Cardoso didn't finish because of he had wheel problems. That's what I read. So thank you guys for being here. There's one round to go. This is going to be exciting in Brazil in 2 weeks. So even if there's a championship, the championship for the winner is done, there's also a lot of positions to be determined by that last race. So we should have a good race in 2 weeks. Thank you, Jason DeBooz, for producing. Matt Hartley should be there in 2 weeks to do the last race with me. Thank you all the viewers for the chat, and I'll let you go. I'll let you all go to sleep. And for those who are watching us not live, well, thank you for tuning in. And for everybody, I say thank you. And for Color Magic Printing, our sponsor as well, say thank you for sponsoring that round. And we'll see each other in 2 weeks' time. Bye-bye, everyone.